Hi, my name is Jerry Gallegos, and this is my final presentation for my master thesis. It's called Seeds for Success: How Leaders Are Cultivated. So, to identify a problem, or I guess a reoccurring theme in our world and always will be, is looking for leadership. The world is always going to be looking for leaders, whether it's on a political level or specifically in the business world. With how generations are always changing, organizations are always going to be looking for good leaders. So, how do they do that? Well, I'm arguing that individuals who have had past collaborative group experiences inherit leadership styles that allow them to be successful in the workforce. So basically, any individual that has had past experience in a team environment, such as Cub Scouts, sports teams, mission teams, military, all of them are going to inherit traits and acquire these attributes that are going to later translate into them being better leaders in the workforce. So, throughout my research, I noticed that as much as I thought this was going to be solely on leaders and the importance of leaders, I realized that there was a lot of interesting articles and journals on followers and the importance of being a follower. And basically, what I was able to gather was that if you can't accept the type of follower that you are, or if you don't understand your identity of being a follower in a group, then it's almost impossible to become a leader. And that's because as a follower, you're going to inherit your leadership style through the experiences and the traits that you inherit as a follower. So even if you are a yes man type of follower or you're skeptical, those are going to carry over into the type of leader that you are. So as a follower, as a foundation, no matter where you're at, however you act or however you treat your followership is going to translate into the type of leader that you are. And as you're making that transition into a leader, the qualities that basically identify an effective leader are important to zero in on, because we can look at tons of different leaders, but a lot of them aren't necessarily good, effective leaders. So according to Northhouse, a couple of the traits and qualities to identify an effective leader that I found were intelligence, confidence, determination, sociability, and integrity. And I feel that these are the foundation traits for any good, effective leader. Even though there's probably a long list of others, I feel that these are extremely crucial to any leader. So I conducted a research survey amongst four groups of people: military, athletes, mission teams, and then individuals that were not a part of a collaborative group for, I said, not more than 5 years, just because I felt that throughout that time, that was when you would inherit one of those quality traits. So the questions were based around these five traits, along with um, extrinsic and intrinsic motivation as well, just to see what was motivating these individuals. And so that was the survey that was conducted on these groups of people. And the results were very interesting. As I thought that a lot of these answers would vary, I noticed that there was a common theme of self-sufficiency and worldview. And by that I mean the individuals that had still acquired things such as intelligence and confidence and determination. A lot of those traits for those individuals were self-sufficient. They had to figure those out on their own. They didn't have a team to figure those things out. So they were still able to acquire those traits. Whereas in a group environment, sometimes relying too heavily on your team or others around you could kind of be a negative. So I thought that was interesting. For other traits such as worldview and the motivation, the two different types of motivations, I noticed that depending on the worldview for some of these individuals, that had determination on what motivated them, what they thought integrity was, what they thought doing the right thing was. So basically, an individual's worldview has a big determinant on these traits and how they acquire them and their view towards them. So ultimately, there's pros and cons for both. However, in a group setting, I do feel that these traits still can be firmly acquired and inherited and be used for further growth when used in a group setting. And so, what does this mean for organizational leaders? That's the main point of all this. And basically, I want leaders to know and understand that it is so important for them to get to know um, their employees, their followers, and the people that are basically applying for their job. Um, the people that are applying, they should be looking for things such as self sufficiency. Are they sufficient on their own? If they weren't a part of a team, are they still acquiring these certain traits that are so essential to have? Basically, it's a time for them to take a deeper look into their employees, their followers, being able to identify things such as their past experiences, how have they been getting along with certain people, and that will help them select and elect people to be put into better positions and higher up leadership. So that was my goal for these organizational leaders, and hopefully they will be able to learn a lot from this study. Thank you.